Still on the subject of death, this is part 7. So I was talking in the previous video about my mom and transformation towards the end of her life, and how some of the things I said to her would eventually pay out in the later part of her life. So she's someone that listened. Yeah, she was feisty, stubborn, adamant, religiously not bigoted, but religiously, how do I put this? Heavenly, useful, earthly, almost useless. Not really. Like she never, I love my mom, but I don't miss her because she was supportive when it comes to verbal affirmations and all that, but I didn't feel affection, if that makes any sense. I said it differently in the other video. But anyways, here's my mom, and I'm telling her about my sister, the second one, and the first one, why she shouldn't have done that, and my brother and my father, why she's praying against him is going to affect my brother because the angel, I made a joke, I said the angel is not going to know which one is which. And he would just say, you confess. She said, no, he's the apple of my eye. He's my seed. He's a righteous seed. I said, and daddy is not a righteous seed. No, he said he's a witch, confessed. I said, what did he say really? He said, but us Neka no know too. Neka being my father's only sister, who my mom was close to before they went to a place and they prophesied and told them that my grandmother was a witch. These are ministers, they were ministers at the time, just for context. I said, but what if, I said, did he say it in Igbo? She said, yes. I said, no, too. Yes. I said, did he say no, Otunzuzo? She said, no. So, Otunzuzo is secret cult. Otu is anything. Otu can be group, gang, cult, group of friends. Otu Aindo, Otu Anyi, my gang people. It's not necessarily bad. But when your mind has been programmed to see things as evil, witchcraft, you will think it. I said, Mommy, are you sure he didn't just mean that she is a bad girl? Because she's the daughter of a rich guy. And maybe he didn't want you to be as sharp-eyed, because my aunt is very sharp, smart woman. Maybe he didn't want you to be that sharp. You know? She was like, okay, it's true. So here I am analyzing my mother's life with my mother. I was 2013, I was 30 years old, 31, hadn't turned 32 yet, 31. I was talking to my mother who was 23 years older than me. So I'm basically parenting my parents. Yeah, we've seen that a lot on TikTok, kids parenting their parents. And my mom is listening, which is something I loved about my mom. Even my dad listens to me. That's something I like about him. I don't know why they listen to me. I don't know why it's me, because when I don't know if they're afraid of me. I don't know what it is, but they listen to me, and because I always came critically with Bible. So you guys think it can be, because when I was young, they will say, children, obey your parents in the Lord, but this is right. Honor your father and your mother, but this is the first commandment with the promise, I will with you and live long on earth. So we echo it with my mom during the family devotion, which was morning and night, long, endless, where they will use Bible to be criticizing my brother and different things. So one day, as soon as they finished, I just echoed, parents, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the fear and admonition of the Lord. She stopped. I said, it's in the Bible, it's here. Kamfu. Always you go. I may provoke you. I said, yes, provoke me. So I don't know if that's the, I think I might have been 9 at the time. I don't know if that's the experience that made them begin to watch me. This boy has got something, he can report us to God. Anyways, so here I am, schooling my mom, parenting my mom. And this is what my niece would eventually see happening. Now, what I saw, the last image I had of my mom was making my sleep restless, praying against my father, against my grandmother. That's what I knew. That's the last image I had in my head. Even in 2019, when she called and said something about my sister-in-law, that she's a vulture, vampire. I said, what do you mean? Say that marriage, I said, Mommy, don't try. Say, better leave my brother alone. Leave those people alone. I said, don't try. Now, my mother was that religious. There's something wrong. That's when I attack religion, you guys should know where it's coming from. Because my mom was a very prayed woman. She prayed. Yes, she would prophesy and things, but it was a problem. It was a problem. It wasn't God. It was a psychosis. It's what it was. Psychosis. It was not God. God did not say anything to anybody. You know, she says she's a vulture, energy vampire, blah. I said, no, better leave them alone. By then, my mom had a record of going to my siblings' homes to cause problem. My second sister, who claims to love her so much, who accused us of killing my mother, when my mom was going for omugwo is like when you're going to take care of your child's child. My second sister, who is not even so close to my third sister, called my third sister to say, be careful. It's going to come and cause problem in your family. And that's exactly what happened. She went and she insulted my brother-in-law, said, thunder fire you. And then my brother-in-law said, back to sender. And that was it. Oh, you disrespected me. So then she now went to my brother's. This is 2016, after he had given birth, and caused problem again. You know, she was a troublemaker. My mother was a troublemaker. Troublemaker because she did not have social skills. Her parents died when she was 12 during the Nigerian genocide that killed people. And she was traumatized, never healed, and next embraced Jesus and became a prayer warrior, prophetess. That's the most dangerous combination. That is why a lot of Nigerian Igbo Christians are crazy people, mad in the head, mad. I told my dad one time in 2020 to say, the message you guys preach was toxic. That's why people are crazy. And he listened, used scriptures to tell him, hey, you messed up. You made people irresponsible. Today you're saying they're Pentarascals, but you created them because he was one of the pioneers of Pentecostalism in the eastern part of Nigeria. So you created those monsters. He listened. Now these are the parents I have, religious people who, you know, everything is about God, religion, God. Bible. Just like my younger sister was saying, and I pity my younger sister. Mommy, I now pray praying tongues for 25 minutes. What the hell is that? I did all those things. They mean nothing. Nothing. Even according to scriptures, nothing. Babbles, vainless babbles. Jesus criticized it, even according to the Bible. But anyways, she's raised different people who sometimes when I look at my siblings, I pity them. I don't envy them. I don't want to be like any of them. My niece, I love the direction she's headed. But the rest have been brainwashed, don't have a brain. No offense, smart, but when it comes to religion, they just shut down. Like, I pity them. Like, I pity a lot of Christians. Even my dad listens, but I still pity him. Because it's heaven. Like, anyways, so my mom is now in 2015 with my second sister and my niece and nephew. They went to the US in 2011. You know, she was escaping racism from her husband at the time because they got married in Bonny Island in Nigeria. I feel responsible for that because my mom didn't want to be a part of it. I was the one who traveled all the way from Benin to Port Harcourt to sign in the registry for them. Yes, because I didn't want my sister to cut us off. I went and signed for that marriage. So I feel responsible for everything. Somehow I feel responsible for the birth of my niece and my nephew. Anyway, but things got bad. America, the racist America, Tennessee. So my sister saw hell and decided to run away with the kids back in Nigeria. And back then we did not understand what she was saying because Nigerians can never understand racism. Never, until they experience it firsthand. So I didn't really get what she was saying. I was like, but he's sending money. He said, you don't. So she couldn't even put it into words. She didn't say racism, but I just felt she was being spoiled. But no, now I know what she went through. So it's 2015, 4 years after they were in Nigeria. My mom goes to stay with them 2 years after she was with me. And then now she's praying for my father to prosper, praying for her children to prosper. That's the side of my mom I did not know until she died. When I heard that, I was like, Ideya, can you do me a favor? Can you talk to your uncle and your aunties that you don't like? I want you to tell them this story from your mouth. They said, no, uncle, I don't want that. It's for the sake of your grandmom. They need to see a side of her that they probably didn't know. Then we organized a family video. She told them, but they were more or less more fascinated by the fact that she was biracial. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Which she hated, of course. In the next one, I'm going to talk about my own tribute because I haven't talked about it yet. Forgive me, guys.